Hello, Bravo bosses. This is the Bravo Investigator Podcast. I'm your host, Dana, and today we are talking about In the City, Season 1, Episode 6. Joining me today is Rupert Baxter, who you probably know from TikTok and Instagram and Threads for his hilarious content and reels on Bravo stuff, Love Island, and just everything reality TV. So we have the funniest chat talking about In the City, Summer House, as well as the recent comments from West Wilson with Soho Brody on Instagram. We get into basically West Wilson's first Summer House post Summer House reunion interview, which was on Instagram. So we talk about it all. Until next time, follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at the Bravo Investigator. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and join the Facebook page. I love you, BBs. I will see you next time. Rupert Baxter, welcome to the Bravo Investigator Podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to get into all the goodies and gossip that are currently going on in the Bravo world.
You are the
Ugh.
one I want to be doing this with. I have recently come upon you on the internet. I'm like, this guy is so funny. Your reels, your threads, your everything, your essence. I'm
Thank
obsessed with your
you.
essence on the internet.
Thank
Can you
you.
tell us a little bit about how you got into like content creating and Bravo specifically? And oh, your Love Island stuff too. Like, how did this become part of like who you are as Rupert
Yeah.
Baxter?
Yeah, so I mean, like, I've always had friends who are just like, why don't you post more on the internet? And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, you have like that imposter syndrome in your head and that little
Yes.
voice behind you that's just like, you're not good enough. Like, what are you doing? And then so I actually went to an Ina Garten party last March. And as I was in the shower, I may have taken an edible. I got the idea to have my fiance record me make this drink that I was bringing to this party. I did that. I posted it on TikTok, and then maybe like at the party, someone recorded another video, and I posted that. And like the next day, it had gone like somewhat viral. I mean, like I was getting like 200 views on my videos, and like both the videos had like 50, 60,000 views, and I was just like, oh, okay. And so I just started posting these like Ina Garten videos. And so, but like I didn't want to like pigeonhole myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I love to just talk about pop culture, Bravo, reality TV, like movie, like, anything you name it. Like my friends actually call me Ask Jeeves because they'll be like, you literally know the most random stuff that like is like no one would know but you. You're
I'm old
always
enough to remember that reference. I
yeah,
know
like
that's Jeeps's.
people are always like, oh, you always correct us when we get like a pop culture reference wrong. And I'm just like, listen, I'm a gay kid from the 90s. Like the only thing I had to hold on to was pop culture and entertainment. And that's what kind of like got me through life. And so I just started like posting my thoughts about, the larger pop culture sphere of life. And also Bravo. And my takes just really started kind of like going off with like the summer house of it all. And so, yeah, that's kind of where I've got to where I am now. And like, there's no stopping, there's no slowing down. I'm just like, I'm cranking them out. And like, I don't overthink it. I literally will think of an idea, record it. If it takes me more than 10 minutes, like, I probably won't ever do it because like, I literally just like, it comes to my mind, we do it, we edit it, and we just post it for the world to see. And that's just kind of like how it is. And I describe my content brand as like a variety show. Like one day you're gonna hear me talking about Bravo, the next you may hear me talking about, people not washing their hands at the airport, and just like sometimes you'll see me in a wig, and sometimes you'll see me in my natural blonde haired state. So it's just kind of like this is Rupert, and this is kind of how we got here.
Well, I'm obsessed with that because it's so natural to you, it feels like, you know what I mean? And congrats on the opportunities that you've had so far. I've seen that you got to go to the summer house. There was like that movie event or like at
Yes,
a theater, and you got to go to the Next Gen NYC party and interview the cast. So I'm
yeah.
really, anyone in our community, even if I don't know them well, like, but I see them doing well out there, I say, like, I'm so proud of you because I
Oh,
am,
thank
right?
you.
Like, we're all like in this together. And so when
Yeah.
I see one of my own, doing well, I'm so proud of you.
No, thank you. I appreciate that. And the people over at Bravo have been so nice to me. And so I'm gonna keep on pushing it out there, Bravo, for you to see and keep working together.
Yeah. More stuff happening for Rupert. Okay. So this is like the first week that we haven't had anything Summer House in a while. And it's like a weird feeling. I remember this
Yeah.
feeling a few years ago after Scandival, and I'm like
Uh-huh.
sort of standing alone on a street corner, like, oh, I feel like that's a good video where I'm just like, what do I do with myself now? Standing in the rain, right? And it's like, okay, we have In the City. What are your thoughts, I guess, on the show in general so far? Are you enjoying it? And like, how do you feel this week now that like this is all sort of done? Do you feel good about that, or are you like
Yeah.
relieved?
I mean, like when they first announced In the City, it made so much sense. And I feel like
Right.
also just like as like a Bravo community, we knew that like there was going to be a changing of the guard anytime soon. I mean, like people were getting married, people were having kids, people's lives are just like very different. And I feel like we've also kind of grown up with this cast also. And so as someone who also like lives in New York, I'm just kind of like, yes, like please, like let's show off our city. I think in more recent seasons of Summer House, when they would show scenes of the cast filming in the city, like people we loved that. We loved
That's my
seeing their
favorite part.
lives.
Yeah.
Exactly. We love seeing their lives outside of the house because we know they're full people. We know that they are, have full-time jobs, mainly influencing, but like they have full lives outside of just like going away to the Hamptons for the weekend for 2 to 3 months. And so very, very excited when it was first announced. Obviously, when Kyle and Amanda announced their split, everyone was just like, well, this is clearly gonna be the big gossip, of the show when it does premiere. And little did we know that our lives were going to be even more rocked with, the scamanda of it all, with Batula and the gummy bear, as I like to call him, just really kind of like shaking up the foundation of not one, but like two shows, really, because it really made sense of being like, the OGs will go on to end the city. These new fan favorites will stay and keep the Summer House torch alive. And they kind of just like blew it all up. So I was nervous about what this was going to look like. I was nervous of how it was going to read, watching it and being like, we know that this relationship is going to end and implode, but we also know that this person is about to screw over one of their best friends. And so,
Yeah.
what is that going to look like? And so, I definitely went into watching the show with some skepticism.
Hmm.
I will say last week with the trolley of it all, like I think that is when I finally was like, okay, like I was gonna watch it regardless because like it's a Bravo show and like that's kind of what I do with my life and free time. But last week was when I was like, okay, like I'm seeing it. Like this is a great group scene. We're seeing a lot of that dynamics play out. I'm getting used to this cast and like I'm getting bought in. And so I think last week really was kind of like the tick for me to be like, okay, like I'm really bought in. I want to see this show succeed. I want to do any and everything I can to like support it, promote it, get the word out there, make sure people are watching it. That way we get, multiple seasons to come.
So you're gonna start just driving a trolley around New York City,
Yeah,
stopping at bars, being
yes,
like,
yes. I
"Watch
actually
In the City."
yes, just like they were promoting Loverboy. I actually got my
Exactly.
trolley license yesterday. So call me, Rupert the
Exactly.
Trolley Master.
Okay, before we get into In the City, um, okay, this Soho Brody thing came out where,
Oh,
okay, do you know how to explain who and what Soho Brody is? Because I've seen it. It's like a whiteboard and a couple of guys. And
yeah,
can you
it's a
explain it
whiteboard
better?
and a
And then
white
I'll read
guy.
the synopsis. But can you explain who and what Soho Brody is? And then I'll get into
Yes.
it.
So Soho Brody from like, I mean, not my brand of like content that I usually subscribe to, just because it's just like a bunch of bros being all like, this is how you explain things. So essentially, Soho Brody, he does these kind of like explanations of people and life and just things through this whiteboard. And so he released a new one with our favorite human being today, Wesley, not Wesley, Wesley.
Wesley Wilson. Okay, what is wild about this is that he used to be in these, right? So he's friends with these guys,
Yes.
and they do it in collaboration with Queens of Bravo. And yeah, I guess they're basically explaining something to a bunch of bros or from a bro's point of view or that kind of thing. And West is typically in them. So it's just kind of wild to me that his first aside from his own podcast, his first post Summer House quote unquote interview has been this set of Instagram reels. Okay. So this
It's
just came
so
out
just
before
like
we hit record.
douchebaggy of him. Oh,
So your moms are watching did a synopsis of this, so I'm just gonna read it quickly and then we can chat about it because like I had a chance to watch most of it, but not the whole thing. So basically Wes says that he doesn't give a fuck about Bravo or its fans. And he basically gave Soho Brody everything that should have been at the reunion. He said that Amanda had spit an olive into his mouth, so now we know that. Uh, Amanda has been wearing his hats for like 2 summers. They hooked up before the statement many times, sleepovers with everything but sex, but did not fully consummate until after they released their statement. The statement was embarrassing. Neither of them wrote it, and he didn't like admit who really did. He said that there is a video that exists of Amanda canoodling with him in his apartment. The video and online rumors are why they rushed the statement. He admitted he was cozying up to Sierra so things in the house would be more comfortable for him. We need to talk about that. Jen Fessler is a nice lady who is flirty, but he didn't sleep with her. Something interesting that he said about her in the video, though, that wasn't captured in this was that's a friend of mine, which is the same wording that he used about Amanda on Watch What
and
Happens Live. So I don't know if she's just a friend of yours. Anyways, he
mm.
screwed Miha over because he wanted his cake and to eat it too. He was asked where he sees himself and Amanda in 2 years. He says he has no idea because things have gotten really crazy. He thinks this may have come from his dad having anger issues. So when he was growing up, his personality was to try to like make peace around people, which is why he didn't go into the reunion defensive.
Oh my
They were
God.
on Xanax and beta blockers at the reunion. He did not tell Lindsay that Amanda was obsessed with him. He said that this was like a bad game of telephone at the Yankee game and all of that stuff, the West Village bars, all of that was him just pretending to be normal. He rides hard for Jesse and his buds in the house and regrets messing up the vibe. But he doesn't really give a sense of remorse for treating Sierra poorly in that. And with the chicken fry of it all, he says that he maybe said that Amanda was hot, and that's what she said at the Super Bowl. That's where she got the Super Bowl thing. All right. What are your thoughts on all that? That's the synopsis.
Oh my
That's his first
God.
post-show interview.
My biggest issue with Wes this entire time, and like the moment, like when the rumors were really heating up about him and Amanda, we had already seen him at 2 reunions literally sit there like a deer in headlights and like not say anything and then go post reunion, talk in the press, do interviews, and just skibba dooba 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 dooba. And yes, we as fans forgave him and let him, because he has that aura around people. But I knew before this reunion, he was going to come in and just be silent and play victim and then kind of go about his life afterwards with this kind of cocky attitude.
Mm-hmm.
And it pisses me off because it's like, does this man owe us anything? No. It is a reality TV show. No one has forced me to watch. But like as someone who is now a public figure, is probably making way more money than us because he was on this show, to even like disrespect friends and the not fans and the audience, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and then to just go about it in this cocky way is just like it's like I just feel like how dare you? And it's just like to say you don't care about the Bravo audience, like uh, that's a bold statement. That's a very bold statement, given that the Bravo audience made you who you are today,
Yeah.
and the Bravo audience does not forget. And so he better hope he's gonna find another grift to latch onto, because as soon as like brands start realizing this man has no pool like he used to, especially because the Bravo audience is mainly women, and I know that brands and companies really want to work with creators and influencers who have a big female audience and following. And so it's like to really kind of just like outwardly say like you really don't give a fuck about the audience, you don't give a fuck about the fans, the people who made you. Huh. I'd like to see that. How you feel about that a year from now when you're not getting these checks?
He is such a piece of shit. And to only be like I guess he did this because these are the guys he feels comfortable with. But like again, how dare you? Because you've been given all of these opportunities, and he's even paid for that aftermath opportunity, right? Like
Exactly.
you're paid for that. You said nothing. Think about the fact that Kyle said that that sit down was 3 hours, and we got what, like a 42-minute episode divided by three. I'm not great at math, but it wasn't 3 hours,
It
right? It
wasn't
wasn't very
exactly.
much. So he's just talking in circles. Kyle has said that a number of times. We got nothing out of that. We got like 15 to 17 minutes out of it. But now you have everything to say in the comfort of your bros.
Exactly, and
Like,
that's what irks me because it's just like, and even like, not that we're talking about her, but the same thing with Amanda, like the way she like got really buck with Danielle on the trolley, like she was just so kind of like you don't get to act so innocent and hurt and wounded in front of the people you caused all this pain to. And then when you're like in the comfort of your home or with your bros and your homies, then you want to be all big and bag and slanging that tiny piece of meat around. Like, sorry, I saw it. Someone sent me the pictures. I did not go looking for them. I saw the leak, unfortunately. But it's just kind of like, and I think even Lindsay had maybe alluded to this or said it in like some post reunion interview of just like, do you know how many times I've been in the hot seat at a reunion and I've had to just sit there and like really kind of like
pregnant. One time, just pregnant, had to take it.
pregnant, just like, but that's also what reunions are. Reunions are for you to be in the hot seat, to
Yeah.
answer to your to all the bullshit you've caused over the last couple 6 months of filming and also, confessionals. And it really just kind of speaks to the type of individual and person that not only him and Amanda are, but it just leaves a really bad taste in my mouth because it's just like there are people on Bravo who I can't stand who have shown up to reunions and owned their shit and actually, got to, sit in the fire. And I think even Lindsay said that on the aftermath of like, you don't get to like pretend that this doesn't exist. You don't get to like shut down, not say anything, and close your eyes to it. Like, and that's what I think people have gotten so annoyed with Amanda of it all, because it's just like there's no accountability. Like you're not actually sitting here and taking it on. You're hiding from it and sitting through it and saying nothing is not taking accountability.
For me, by the time we got to the aftermath, like it was really clear to me she's does not care about Sierra. Like when she shook her hand in that last episode and said like it was nice working with you, she was serious.
Yeah,
To Sierra, that was a close friend, but to Amanda, that was a colleague. And
exactly.
there were so many people, whether it be Mia or Lindsay, who have tried to ask Amanda, but what about Sierra? But what about that? She barely flinches. Like it was, she goes, well, I selfishly, whatever, but like it was barely a thought for her. You know what I mean? And I think that that's just so telling. And I think that's the explanation. There's no accountability because she doesn't feel like Sierra was a close friend of hers, but she doesn't have the balls to say that.
Which is it's just so crazy that like this is how it all kind of like shook down, especially with how good of a friend Sierra was to
I
not
know.
just Amanda, but also to Kyle. And I hated the discourse that people were being like, oh, well, that's what Sierra gets. Like she was always in their business and like always in their marriage. Like my thing is like if I'm close with two individuals, I don't care which one you are, the man, the wife, the man, the woman. Like if I see you both actively, and granted, like Sierra even said, like I didn't realize to the degree of like an extent of like why you were always crashing out. I've shared my own theories that like when cameras were not around them, like Amanda was probably the most emotionally abusive to Kyle, treated him like shit. That's why this man was always running out, not wanting to be at home, that disgusting ass apartment, like
Oh,
all
we have
that
to talk about
clutter.
that.
Like, I get why this man was acting this way, but we know that now. But it's just like, I'm gonna be there for both of my friends and be like, listen, get your shit together, get your shit together. And like, she was doing that to both of them and being like, but also, if you don't want to be in this relationship, stop, get out of it. Like, no one is forcing you to do this, but like, what we're not gonna do is constantly be on this cycle every season of you being like, well, I'm trying, I'm trying. Well, it's like, you're not trying hard enough to actually make the situation better. So like let's get out of it. And so
Yeah.
like she was such a good friend to both of them and to like this is how you pay them back. This is what you do in return. Like
No, it's wild. It's wild. The
Oh my
timeline
God.
thing too is really interesting, where he was saying, because I swear I threaded about this a while ago. Because when he said something like, "Oh, we did everything but sex until the statement," I was like, okay, because technically Andy only asked like when did you kiss and when did you sleep together? And so I threaded
Yeah,
like technically speaking, like there are other bases and maybe they did those things because people were like, how can you make a statement like that without having
like
sex?
that.
And I'm like, maybe they did
Exactly.
other things, like
Yeah, that's why it was just that when that all came out in the reunion, it was just kind of like, ain't no way you're risking all this on something you ain't even tried out. Like I've done more for less and less for more. So, so it's just like I know you lying. Like it's just oh my God. See now I'm gonna be angry when I watch this. Although like maybe I don't want to watch it. I need someone to like do all the clips and post them so I don't give Soho Daddy or Brody, whatever his name is, any like views or likes or
by the time we're done
anything.
recording, like everyone will have
Yeah. No, well,
post
no,
with
it's
us.
so funny because literally people were had messaged me because as you know, I was like finishing some work. People had sent two people had sent me the video, and I was just like, I do not have the time to watch this. Like, I'm literally like finishing up work and then recording a podcast, so I
Right.
don't have time to watch this.
But I was
But
like,
I'm
we
just
have to
like,
talk about it. So I'm like so glad someone did a synopsis.
oh, that's it's. I mean, none of that even shocks me. Like, again, this is literally the West playbook. Like, he plays the victim, he shuts down while he's actually under the fire. And then he goes and skips around the West Village with his bros, being all like, doo 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 doo. I'm not going to take any accountability. I stepped through that 10-hour lashing and said nothing and was quiet and didn't get into it with anyone because that's easier than actually, speaking my mind and saying how I feel. And it's like the fact that they were even like on the beta blockers and on the Xanax of it all, like, but also it's like to say like you don't care about Bravo and the fans, like what does this man want for the rest of his life? Like, is he going to go back to working like a regular job? Like, because that
He
just
does still work at
also,
Complex, but I think it's part time. So, I mean, do you think, like, would you want to see him on In the City? Because if he, okay, my thought process is that Kyle is probably coming back to Summer House, mostly full time, maybe part time.
yeah.
It wouldn't make sense to have Amanda there. So it would make more sense to have her on In the City because she can film separately more often. Like, she still has to have friends, but she can film. Maybe we'll eventually see Katie DeLuca like say words. Like maybe we'll have that happen. Who knows?
Right?
More, I
Katie,
say this
Katie,
girl's
no,
name
Luca.
more than I've heard her say words. I
Yeah,
mean,
and it's always like whenever they show her like on the show, it's like Katie DeLuca, and it's just like a clip, but like
it's
no
like
vote, like just like music playing over. It's like this is Katie smiling. This is Katie walking into a man's
yeah,
apartment. Um, I
barely
actually think,
anything.
yeah, I think Kyle and Lindsay are in Cannes right now, and I actually was
Yes,
seeing an interview earlier where they had asked that question. And I also had read the like post aftermath interview. I think it was with Variety with one of the execs on Summer House, and he was saying like, obviously we still have like the rest of the season of In the City. We also have the reunion, and like I mean, just using my Bravo sleuthing skills, I think most of the time they make decisions on casting after the reunion and seeing how like the audience feels about certain individuals.
that's true. We do have a ways
Um,
away.
but from the exec's mouth, apparently we get a different Amanda at the In the City reunion, which actually pisses me off even more because it's just like, like when you're not in front of the people who you literally like, yeah, this is probably weird and awkward to the In the City cast, but like Amanda didn't personally outside of Kyle and Lindsay like really like mess with anyone there. So it's kind of just like for her to like kind of be all like woohoo, like I'm really gonna show up today. It's just kind of a slap in the face. But I'm very interested to see like how her friendships are with the cast
Yeah,
after this season. And so I think there is a world where we do see a West on In the City season two. Maybe not as like a cast member. I don't know how they would do it in terms of like financials or like if that's her man, that's her man, and he'll probably make appearances. But I'd be very interested to see how they would navigate that. Also, especially him saying he doesn't give a F about Bravo or the fans and like but we've had pretty shitty men on our television screens on Bravo for multiple seasons. So
Right? It's something where it's always we're looking for like the lesser of evils, you know, and
yeah,
something I say in almost every episode, it's so repetitive, but I'll say it again, where historically we've had trouble finding good guys for this show. And so when we found some like decent guys that people liked, people were like, oh, they're so amazing. But it was only amazing in contrast to like someone else. You know what I mean? And like
exactly.
these men are like Peter Pan type men. These are not like the creme de la creme type of men that we're looking for
Exactly.
here.
Exactly.
So they're going to be shitty in some sense. But like, oh, one thing I wanted to mention, because I was unfortunately listening to the Wild Files today, Andrea and Lexi were on. Was it today or yesterday? I don't even know day or time is happening anymore. I was listening to Andrea and Lexi on the Wild Files, and they said that the spitting in the mouth thing does come up at the In the City reunion. And we also know that Andy asks Amanda about the beta blockers or whatever she was on. So I think that, you know, it's totally true. Like she wasn't there or like present for the Summer House reunion, but like
Yeah.
hopefully it sounds like Andy tried to press her now that she's like more conscious in the
Yeah.
In the
Not
City
not
reunion to try
sedated.
to get like more out of her. So let's try to have some faith in Andy that he like got a little
Yeah.
more out of her.
I mean, is there a world in your view where it makes sense to have I don't think that I'd get rid of Amanda. I think she's too crucial. I don't know if the word is crucial, but I think she's too ingrained in the makeup of the show. I mean, granted, like
Yeah.
no one's bigger than the show. I'm assuming the show will get a second season, but I think given how big all of this has been, like it doesn't make sense from a production, from a storytelling perspective to not have her on the show, at least for another season, because I think there's still, unfortunately, interest in her story. But also, like, we love to watch people that we dislike.
No, it's so true. But there's like a like dislike where almost like Kenny, and we'll get into that when we talk more about In the City, but like he's like a likable villain in a sense where like I want to hear more about his story. Is the sense that you're getting from the audience? Because the sense that I'm getting from like threads and Instagram is more so that people are not interested in Amanda's story. I feel like if she has a connection to Kyle still, well, like the dogs, what is the
Yeah,
long-term plan with the
with
dogs? You
the
know what I
dogs,
mean? Like,
like,
do they
is like
get
one gonna keep Reese?
sleepovers? Like,
Is one gonna keep Reese? Is one gonna keep the other? I mean, it seems like they both have their favorite dog,
it's
which
awful.
is so horrible to say. But I mean, like, I think that's how it is with like, I mean, I think it's like with any two pet household. I mean, we have two cats. Like, there's one cat really likes my fiance much more than me. Not to say that he doesn't like me, but like he likes my fiance more. It is what it is. But I think I think Amanda has supporters. But again, I think it also depends on like
I guess I don't follow those people.
what those friendships amongst the cast look like. Like I'm pretty
Right,
sure like Lindsay will film with anyone. I think Lindsay understands
right.
like this is a business. Same thing with Kyle, like but he also cares about Amanda. N- But what are Amanda's relationships like with the rest of that cast? Because like I don't know, I feel like we really don't really see Amanda in these her first six episodes. We don't really see Amanda hanging out with anyone really like one on one outside of
No.
Lindsay. And like again, like she has the Katie DeLuca. Someone did mention, which I don't know if this is true or not, but they had messaged me because I said something about where is Katie DeLuca. They were like, oh, apparently she had like had a miscarriage, like right when filming had just started or around the time of filming was happening.
Oh,
So they
because
were
she had
wondering,
posted about miscarriages. I didn't watch the whole video. I maybe in the video she explained a connection to the show because
yeah.
I
They
didn't
were saying
realize
that
that.
like maybe like maybe she had like stepped back from filming a little bit, or maybe the producers maybe she said like to the producers, "I want to take a step back because like she's
Yeah.
had no professionals." I don't even think I've heard her say a word on the show. But it's like when you look at like a first season show, like I think one of the complaints about this cast is it's kind of big.
Okay.
And it's like,
Lexi and Andrea. Do you think they can go? Because like they're beautiful to look at, but I feel like they're not really bringing anything to this cast. What do you
yeah,
think?
we can cut them.
Yeah, we cut them. I
Yeah.
agree. I
I,
agree
I,
that they
I
can go.
Yeah, and I think in my first couple of
Love
episodes
them to death.
watching,
Love them.
yeah,
No offense.
love
Yeah,
them. But it's just like if we're looking at like whose stories I'm personally finding interesting, like hopefully I can remember everyone's names. Like I
right.
think they're like, ooh, it's like when like all the new boys came on Love Island. It's like, who are these men? Um, I mean, obviously Kyle, Lindsay. I really love Gavin. I've actually met him through some other stuff, and he's like a seems like a great guy. Kenny and Whitney, I think there's a really good story there. Georgina, I love her, like single mom, like really kind of like rocking it out. Like
But they got to
the
give us more on her. Like, tell us the story of what happened with the ex, right? When
yes.
she said that she went crazy, like, what did you do?
Well,
What
yeah. Well,
happened?
I'm wondering maybe there was like you know how it's weird when like there's like who I'm trying to think who has this happened with in the past like
Like, when there's
'cause I
somebody
think
else involved, you're not allowed to talk about.
yeah I think maybe there's
Oh,
a scenario where maybe it's like okay if you're gonna film the show with our kids like X Y and Z because I'm pretty sure
she's
I
pretty
think
open about them. She talks about putting like chocolate in their diapers. So,
yeah
like,
I think like maybe
there's a lot
at
of
one point
stipulations.
yeah, I think at one point Lindsay had maybe like alluded to the fact that like her and Turner had to like come to some agreement about like being able to like sh talk like show Emma on the show. So I'm thinking like maybe there's that situation where it's like I won't talk about this if you are don't
Maybe.
talk about that.
Yeah, fair enough.
I would love I think she's always a good time. I love Yvonne
Hmm.
and Nick, that's her
Yeah.
husband. Super,
Yeah.
super cute. Um and so I think it's kind of like I would not be mad. And I also like Danielle and Ian.
Owen.
Oh,
When I make notes, I write it Owen so I don't get confused.
it's the E. It's the E that confuses me. And I like them
It's
also.
goddamn Irish names.
Yeah, and also like they just had a baby, so it's like I think like from my perspective of like what they want the show to be focused on, it's like people in that next phase of their life. Although
Right.
Andrea and Lexi are also pregnant as well, so
Right.
it's like where's the give and take? And then so it's kind of like, who do we get rid of? Who don't we keep? I
I mean,
don't
they
know.
may consider keeping everyone, right? I mean, like, I'm a proponent of like give people a second chance. Like
Yeah.
Levi, give her a second season, let her
Yeah.
shine, let
I'm a
let
Levi.
Levi run that house.
I'm
Okay.
a Levi stan. Like I've loved any and every moment that they showed of Levi. People are like, we don't need her. I'm like, no, bring our
Don't
girl back.
understand. Yeah.
Like the misunderstood, like quirky, weird friend. That's me. So like I see myself in
Fair.
Levi.
I
So
love
like
that.
bring Levi back to the summer
Yeah.
house, which is
So
crazy because
I
they're
could
gonna
see them just
start.
being like, oh, let's bring everyone back. But to like, I don't know, like, do you want to see that? Like, are you watching The Valley right now? And like, how do you
I
feel about like all the new moms?
Yeah, I am watching The Valley. I'm probably behind an episode. Listen, the Love Island really makes it hard to watch shows live at
Right.
night. Especially because it doesn't start till like 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So I am a little bit behind, but it's also I I see it in two ways. Like I don't have kids. It's not my journey. Like never want them. Like love that for people who want to. But
Yeah.
I also
Feel the
think
same.
like so many of Bravo viewers at this phase in life have grown up with these people. And so it's like there's
Yeah.
things you can relate to in the terms of like being a new mom, having postpartum, like,
I feel like a lot of people
navigating.
are like thanking Kristen for that on threads. They're like,
Yeah.
thank
And
you
it's
for sharing your story. It makes me feel seen.
yeah, and it's just like for both sides, like the person who had the baby and the person who didn't. It's just like how are you navigating your relationship? Like it's real raw stuff that I'm sure is uncomfortable to see, and it's not like all fun and games, but it truly is like that next phase of life for a lot of these characters that we've grown up with. Which I mean, I will give Bravo like a pat in the back on that with really being able to navigate, having these bigger than life personalities and characters that we followed for so long, but finding avenues to bring them into, to still stay with them, but bring them back in a way that makes sense, which is why I also love like the next gen NYC of it all. And I think they're doing like a next gen like LA with like some people out
Oh,
there.
that's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
No,
so
I'm
it's like
excited about that one.
yeah, I love that they're actually keeping, this talent that they have worked so hard for the network and like the brands to really kind of keep them in-house. Because I think
Yeah.
in like a Housewives, like it's very different. Like you can have people in all different phases of their life. And I think a Housewives show is just very different in terms of like what these shows are, because these are actually real friend groups. And
Yeah.
so I think that's what makes
Yes.
it
Yes.
great.
That's what makes it more organic and like relatable. And I don't know. I call them the younger shows, even though like some of the housewives are the same age, right? Like think about like Amanda Francis versus Kyle Cook. Like they're
Exactly.
probably, Kyle's probably older, but like I call these the young shows and I just enjoy them more because it's supposed to be like my age group. And like you said, like I don't want kids. I have no interest in kids, but like I still feel related. Like this is relatable because I feel like I've grown up with Kristen, for example,
Exactly.
for 10 years. You
And,
know what I mean?
and even if you don't have kids, like being the friend who doesn't have kids when your friend does have kids, like relationships change. And it's kind of like, okay, well, how do I navigate this? How do I navigate that? And it's like, how do you make friends with people who like don't have kids and then everyone is having kids? So it's like,
Yeah.
I think there's something for all of us in these kind of like newer shows that are showing that 30s to early 40s phase of transitional life that we don't really get
Right.
to see a lot
Totally.
in other facets that aren't like, I don't know, like 90 Day Fiance.
I love 90 Day Fiance.
Love!
Oh, like I have my relatable reality TV shows, and then I have my like out there reality TV
Yes,
shows.
and
It's
90 Day Fiance, I'm so
Are you
glad
watching
that
Last Resort? Do you know that spinoff?
so here's my thing. When it comes to 90 Day Fiance, never in my world did I think there would be a 90 Day Fiance cinematic universe when I first got tapped
No, of
into
course
it.
not.
Like there's so many shows, there's so much, so I haven't really gotten to Last Resort simply
It's a good
because
one.
it's so much that like just keeping up with like the regular seasons, which like I used to watch them live, but now I just wait till they come out the next day because it's like
Yeah, same.
they're like 2 hours long. And it's just like
Yeah.
just give me the hour and 30 minute
And I go to
version.
bed at like 9 o'clock.
I would. The hour and 30 minute version that I could watch on Max. But I have not tapped in. But all my friends who also watch 90 Day Fiance are like, you have to watch. I'm like, I know, but like there's so much there's so little time and so much
So
shows.
much TV and so little time. Okay. Until we're doing this as our full-time jobs, which are
Exactly. Like I have to work. Like during I have to work. I have to output things on top of me outputting content.
unfortunately. Okay, let's talk a little bit about In the City, the episode this week. What are your thoughts on like this Kenny situation with his dad? Like, I just think it's really interesting because like he first comes in as like this villain to us in a
Yeah.
way. Like, I don't know how you felt about him, but like people didn't really like him. But then he has this really compelling story. Um, but I still like as I watched it a couple of times, I sort of had more questions because I was like, okay, I know that his mom was like, if you don't want to go to the UK and visit your dad anymore, like our understanding is like the dad lived in the UK, he had a whole
Yeah.
other family. Kenny used to go over there in his early teens. He didn't want to go anymore. He felt like an outsider, and his mom's like, you don't need to go anymore. But as I thought more about it, I'm like, why didn't his dad like ever call him again? Right? Like, why didn't they at least have like a phone conversation? Like,
Yeah.
we're not talking about the 1920s. Like, we're talking about
Exactly.
like 25 years ago. Like, why didn't he do that? Like how did it really come to the fact that both parties thought each other was dead?
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
that kind of wild?
I definitely feel like there's more to the story that we're
Yeah.
not getting. And it's like, I'm a firm believer, like when you go on these shows, you just have to be like 110% honest because like if anyone's gonna figure it out, it's the Bravo
No,
community.
within seconds. Oh, and
Second,
Whitney was like, I'm just a millennial girl. I can just like check on Facebook. You did not need to hire and pay a PI because like
exactly.
anyone could have found this man.
Like like I call ourselves like the FBI find bitches instantly. Like all we need is like a picture and like the color of a shirt that they wore
Right.
like 30 years ago. We got it.
Just a
Um,
first name is enough for me.
yeah. And so so like whenever I'm haven't watched an episode, I try to like not read like some of the discourse. I know that I guess Kenny's brother or half
Okay.
brother has has spoken about the situation. I would always scroll past it. I don't know if you've read it and want to kind of like tap into that because
I read it, but like before, okay, I'll read it, but before I read it out, like I am just sort of curious your thoughts on like him and his story before I give you more information.
you're like, are
Yeah,
you
we'll
want,
take it with a grain of salt, right? It's what somebody else
yeah.
is saying, but like, yeah, before without reading something else online, like what were your thoughts on the whole thing?
I mean, like I thought it was beautiful. I mean,
Yeah,
luckily, my father is still in my life. I mean, my parents are divorced, but like have grown up with my father my whole almost 37 years. And so it's kind of just like family's complicated. Family can be stressful. Family can be great. Family's family, and whether it's your chosen family or not. And so I always think it's beautiful when a family can kind of reconnect. Again, obviously it's like reconnect, but like what were the issues that led you to that long, what was he said, like 14 years,
20 years. Well,
24
he last saw him when he was
when he was
14, so it
14.
was something like 20. I haven't seen him in 25 to 28 years,
Yeah.
something
So
like
it's like
that.
what
But it just
to
felt
your
like there's
point,
a missing story here. Like,
what got there. And so I thought that was
yeah,
beautiful, but it's just kind of like where do we go from here? What were the issues that kind of got you here? And then to your point, like we get to see this different side of Kenny, because I know I've been giving him some lashings on kind of how he's moved because it's kind of like hit dogs holler, especially when it came to like the conversation about like we don't have a spark. You got mad at people for repeating what you said. Like
yeah,
just own it
yeah.
in real time versus going off on people. So like
Do you think he's
again.
just like struggling with the public eye?
Oh, completely. Like, I mean, again, I can't imagine going from like private citizen to literally having cameras in your face for, 3 to 4 months at a time and then having to then rewatch it.
Yeah,
And like, so and again, it's like, I think people have spoken about like that transition and saying like reality TV is very hard because you have to be open, you have to be honest, you have to be vulnerable. And then even after all of that, you have to rewatch it. And then you have the confessionals of it all, and you have people reacting to things that they didn't see or didn't hear. So I can imagine that all in itself has been very, very hard for him. I think he's taking it, pretty well, all things considered. I think I had even like responded to a DM from him where I was just like, luckily for you, Amanda Batula's on your show. So I think,
so true. But also, like, I mean, but with Amanda and Kyle, like the drama was really going on more, or in West and all of that, more so was going on with Summer House, and we were seeing all of that sort of play out. But like on this show, it's kind of funny if you think about it. Like, yes, you're right. He totally said the spark thing, but like the biggest drama on this show is like Kenny and Whitney and like
yeah,
their long term. Like it's that's the thing. There's barely anything here. We keep trying to play up this Danielle and Owen thing and whether or not there was crossover. They've said in every episode there wasn't crossover. There
exactly.
really isn't any drama on this show. You know what I mean?
You're like, we need it, we need it, we need it.
Like if the worst relationship is Kenny and Whitney, it's like on the
We're
basis.
doomed.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on why on like Gavin and Kenny and them kind of like because again,
I,
I think there's something that is not being said that we're missing because like if this is supposed to be your bro for the last 15 years and he's now like coming for your relationship, what is going on? And even Kenny was just like, do I have to check you? Like what? Like maybe you might need to check him because I want to see you check him.
so last week I wanted to give him grace and I was like, maybe he just doesn't know what to do in front of the cameras. And so he's just, you know, saying a lot of things. But in this episode, I felt like some anger from him when he made that comment towards Kenny where he's like, "Oh, do you know a lot about divorces because you're about to,"
Yeah, like
which made
what?
no sense
No sense whatsoever because
whatsoever.
they're not married.
Like because he knows the word irreconcilable differences, like which it does is not applicable here, right? Like I just don't know why he said that. So there felt like something, and I don't know. Like Kyle brought it up a few episodes ago where he said something like. Gavin has only seen Kenny in maybe like shitty relationships. So Gavin was like more so there for him. And maybe in this relationship, because he's happier, it means that Gavin is being pushed out a bit. So maybe
Yeah,
it's a mixture between he doesn't really know what to do with reality TV and he is a little butthurt about Whitney kind of pushing him out a bit. And
yeah,
not Whitney, I mean like just the fact that you're in a new
yeah,
relationship and it's what everybody does when you
yeah.
and she
Which
just moved there, so they're not spending as much time together.
yeah, which totally makes sense. And so I'm like, when I was watching the episode, I that really kind of like, because I was kind of like, yeah, yeah, but in that moment, I was just like, no, no," and
It
so
was rude as fuck. You called
it
his
was very
girlfriend
rude,
boring, dude.
and I think it's
He
like,
never apologized. And stop
like
kissing
you.
everybody.
Like you can't be loud and wrong. Like no, it did not make sense. And so that really, I was just like, okay, like maybe make a mental note of like, I hope this is either addressed at the reunion or it comes up later in the season. And like, if there was a world where Gavin was just like, listen, like, I feel like I'm losing my friend, and I think that is totally valid. I mean, valid in the sense of like, oh, now we see why you're being a jerk, but like, it would make sense because like I think we've all been there. I've been there where, as you get older, friendships change. And it's just like, I was not the person I was 15 years ago. There are people who I thought 15 years ago I would still be friends with today that I'm not. And so it's like, if that is an aspect that we get to explore, I would love that because again, to the point we were saying earlier about like how relatable these shows are for this demographic, like this happens. Like friendships fall apart. Friendships change as you grow up and mature. And then so I hope it's
That's a
not
good
a sense
point.
of like, I hope it's not to the point where it's like, because he's in this relationship, he's neglecting his friendship with Gavin. And then that's why Gavin's lashing out because it's like, I hate when someone gets in a relationship and they start acting like a person never existed. Like, okay, all right, well, have fun with that person that you have just met, known for a year, and now you're literally like not even answering my phone, not picking up the phone, not calling me.
My
So
sister
maybe,
does that, but she does not watch this, so whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, it's like who's gonna be there for you when that person is gone, right? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
So
those were the,
maybe that's
but
what it
but no,
is.
you make a good point, right? Like we don't always evolve and like we change as we grow up, right? So like we're not always friends with the same people that we were 15 years ago. And would you be friends today if you had
Exactly.
met today, right? And
Yeah.
I was putting so much emphasis on the show. I was like, oh, they must be acting a certain way because of the show. But even regardless of that, it could just be
Yeah.
the longevity of this relationship and things have changed.
Yeah. But I need Gavin to like vocalize that because
Yeah.
as an Aquarius man who has gone to therapy, um, communication amongst men is horrible. And so I think I need him to vocalize. If that's not the reason, I need him to actually vocalize the reasons why he feels the way he feels about the relationship between Whitney and Kenny, and but like, and do it on camera because
Yeah,
people are confused,
for sure.
and now you're looking foolish. So,
Oh, let me read what the brother said so we can just like be up to date on all our info.
oh God, now I'm nervous.
Okay, so this is Kenny's brother. So he says, I'm one of Kendon's half brothers. He reached out to me desperate for information on our dad, which unfortunately I had none. He told me he hired a PI and said he'd update me when he found the information. Little did I realize it was a ploy for this show. Assuming this episode is recorded and then on scheduled release, he's got his answers and left me out of it. The faux family reunion approach was to secure TV clout, using trauma to try and bond with intention and staking his spot on Z tier reality TV is bottom of the barrel stuff. Proper Belland? I don't even know what that means. Can understand the hate in the comments now. I don't understand. That's
Huh?
not super clear. I guess he's saying that he was left out of this reconciliation. Okay, but how? Like, we don't know Kenny's relationship with his brother right now.
Exactly.
It doesn't sound
Oh,
good.
yeah.
If they had a
Also,
great relationship, I'm sure he would have been involved.
exactly, but also like it's what he's accusing Kenny of. It sounds like what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like you're accusing him of clout chasing, you're accusing him of
Like, who are
like
you
trying
talking
to get
to?
it for a TV show. But you're literally now getting public. You're now posting about this publicly to people, and so it's like if to accuse him of that, but then you're doing the same thing. It's like the same thing when like people are like, "Oh, my ex is on Love Island." Okay, girl, that's your ex. Like clearly it didn't work out. We don't care. So
And then do the podcast rounds. It's like,
yeah, so like that's weird to me. Okay. Oh, well, that's not as bad as I thought it was. I was like, maybe like the brother was saying like this is all fake. They've known each other for years. Like, whew. Okay. Well,
that
I mean,
happens on 90 Day Fiance a lot, by the way.
yes. So
But
I mean,
anyway,
yeah. I mean, like to the brother, I'm sorry you feel that way, but it's also kind of like maybe this wasn't your story to tell or be a part of, or it's like maybe it was a production call to maybe not have it be about his brother involved in it. Because also, again, it's kind of like if the story is Kenny trying to find his father, and then he also has a strained relationship with his brother. It's like, do we even add that into the mix? Like, no, let's just like maybe focus it on the father. And also, like, you want to have that moment of those two reconciling and like having that conversation versus it like a third person kind of coming into the mix who sounds like maybe the relationship is strained. So like we're not trying to have like bad girls club like in the city like
Right.
like
Okay.
like
Do you have like 10 more minutes?
yeah, girl, let's keep
Okay,
going.
perfect. I want to talk a little bit about Kyle and Amanda, even though it feels like kind of moot at this point because we know what happens. But it's just sort of interesting to see how messy things actually were and to
She
know
pissed
how
me
right he
off.
actually was. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Every I said this like in a post earlier. I said that I'm so thankful that the producers of In the City are so committed to letting us know how disgusting Amanda Batula is. Like between last episode and this episode, like, I thought a lot of her arguments, most of her arguments are BS. My thing is, it's very apparent that there was a lot going on off camera that we had no idea about that was,
Mhm.
I think, fueling Kyle's crash outs. My thing is like, am I a neat person? Absolutely not. Would I let my apartment get to that level? Like my thing is if you have a two bathroom apartment in New York City and one of those bathrooms is not even be able to be used because you have clothes stacked up to the ceiling and the shower, I have no words for you. And then for you to then be like, well, you weren't here. And Kyle's like, well, yeah, because look at this place. Like, it's a mess. And then you hire move. I have hired movers my last four moves because one, I'm in my 30s and I am not carrying heavy things myself. But
Yeah,
if I
same.
have movers coming, I pack my shit up. I'm packing
Absolutely.
everything up. And also, she kept being like, I'm very heated about this. She kept being all like, well, this was so last minute. And da, da, da. Yeah, it was last minute, but it was supposed to be a temporary thing. You signed a year-long lease. Take all your shit up out this apartment. Take
Yeah.
it to a storage unit. Get it out of my
And what do you mean
house.
there's not enough room? Like, what are you talking about? Like, when she said, like, when Kyle came at the end of the episode, she's like, well, there's
Yes.
a room for all my stuff here. What are you talking about? You live alone in a
You
two
live
bedroom.
alone in a two-bedroom. You don't have any
There's no
furniture.
furniture.
Like,
Build a
and
couch out
again,
of your clothes.
and again, I know for sure the building she moved into probably has storage for their tenants. And also, it is New York City. People don't have a lot of space, but you know what we have? Storage units. Like, get an organizer to come in, take the stuff you don't need right now that's in the season, organize it for you before you move out, and put that shit in storage. I have moved from a big place to a small place temporarily in between moves. And you know what I did with my stuff? I put it in storage. And I'm not a big time Bravo lab making Amanda Batula money. I can afford the 6 months of storage. It's not that expensive, Amanda.
Okay, I live in 500 square feet, so it's pretty similar to New York style living. And what I do is every time I buy a new thing, I end up having to throw something else out. And if that's how I live, that's how I live. But it's like one pair of
Exactly. Like,
shoes, another pair of shoes has to go. It's not like you don't stay in a marriage. Ooh, here's a good quote. You don't stay in a long-term marriage just because you don't have enough room for your stuff. Think about it. She's only been in this relationship this long just to make sure
like,
there's enough room for her shit.
like that was like the biggest bullshit of an excuse. And even like the conversation with her dad being like, yeah, well, I know he's probably and then it's like it goes back to how much she does not care. Like, regardless of the state of their marriage, like this is someone you've been with for 10 years. This is someone you I think Kyle really wanted to try to make their marriage work. I don't think Amanda wanted to. Amanda just liked
No.
being famous and also liked being able to play the victim. And so again, if I was in a last ditch effort to save my relationship. And the last ditch effort was, okay, let's move to different places for 2 to 3 months. Let's figure this out. And like, if that 2 to 3 months turns into a year-long lease, the way I am gonna have to call someone and say, come over, bro, or else I'm about to go. The amount of disrespect, disregard, not even having a conversation with your husband about said I signed a lease. Like, oh yeah, I told him. I didn't have a conversation with him about it. I told him I'm moving out of our apartment and also I signed a year-long lease. But then you want to get mad that he goes out because he needs to get away from you. He needs to get away from the fact that
The
you have moved
loneliest
her.
extrovert in the world. That when he said that, I was
That
like,
was so depressing. Like
okay,
Kyle
was it just
constantly
me? But did
singing.
you notice that Frank Batula did not really have any expression on his face when she was like talking shit about Kyle? Like he did not. I was just expecting more like anger from the dad, and he
No.
didn't. He he didn't seem to like
Even
he
her
didn't seem
dad is over.
shocked.
His dad is over her bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think I saw that like, on the like online too. People were just
Oh,
like,
did you? Okay, because I was like, why
even
isn't he like reacting
even her
much?
dad was over it. Like, what is going on? Like, I was just like, and again, it's just like, how do you navigate? How she's navigating all of this just shows she never cared. I think this was her plan all along. Again, to play the victim, make Kyle look bad, which again, we all said, had this Scamanda thing happened, Kyle would have had the most to answer to at the Summer House reunion and probably the In the City reunion. But it's like we actually got to see what was going on behind closed doors
Yeah,
and get to see a peek into who Amanda Batula actually is. And again, it not to excuse how Kyle has acted, but it makes sense. Because
yeah.
as a human being who has emotions and has also crashed out many a times, when you're pushed to like the brink and the edge in certain scenarios, of course you're gonna lash out. Of course you're gonna go out a lot. Of course you're gonna be out to the bars. Because why would I go home? Like my home life is horrible. Like my home is disgusting.
And how he said on Threads recently how he hasn't been able to have friends over in years because of the
Like
state of the
that's
apartment side.
crazy. Like nah, nah. Like that
And did
is
you notice like the little glimmer of like whenever she talks about like an indiscretion of Kyle's, like him, like there being a video or like him
where's
going
the
out in
video?
her, yeah,
Where's it at?
we've never heard of a video. And I posted about this a while back on Instagram, in the Marie Claire article that she did earlier this year when we were like, we're all rooting for you and we were so proud of her back
Go
then.
girl.
She said, in that article, there's never been any evidence brought to me about Kyle. So if these girls keep saying that like you hear from a friend of a friend of a friend, but how come no one has come forward? How come there's no one being a girl's girl? So if there's been a video for what did she say in this? Not long after they got married. So it's
Yeah.
4 years ago. You've had a video for 4 years. You lied in the Marie Claire article. And we don't even know what's true anymore then.
Yeah.
Because you're
And
always
and
lying.
and like I think of someone had sent me something oh my God, was it on Threads? Maybe. I'll send it to you afterwards. But it was
Fucking love
basically kind
threads.
of like it was so what's it called? Like the girl on the train. Like they alluded to that. Oh, I'll send it. But basically they were
Okay.
saying like they're basically being like in today's society, like you can barely go outside without like being captured, being like the amount of people who've been following or were following the West and Amanda while they were like in Europe, like if there was evidence of Kyle Cook being handsy, inappropriate, making out with someone, baby, that shit would have been posted on Demois within minutes.
We're seeing it
So
now.
like,
He's the kissing bandit now. He's kissing everyone and their mother, right?
yes,
We're getting all
so
the
that's my
photos.
thing.
I don't want
It's
any
just
more.
kind of like,
No
and
more.
so it's kind of like maybe people were DMing her and being like, but like also it's like where's the proof? And so it's kind
But
of
she has
just
this
like
look like, you guys like, so, and nobody cares now. Nobody's like, oh my God, Kyle, in the same way that we were, because at some point you got to take some accountability and leave him then. We're not like, so
yup,
we're not going to continue to be mad at Kyle for doing the exact same behavior for 10 years. At some point, you have to leave him.
exactly.
We're not going to be like, oh my God, Kyle, for 10 more years. Like, we're
Exactly. It's
not,
like
that's
you knew what you signed up for. You knew what you were
right.
married to. My thing is like if you're with someone and they cheat and you choose to stay with them, yes, work through that, but like, I'm sorry, you better not bring up, but when you cheated in an argument, because like, yes, but we made the decision together, and you also made the decision individually to stay in this relationship and move forward. So don't you dare bring it up in an argument because clearly you're not over it. So if it's such an issue, be gone. Be
You know what
gone.
I'm curious about? Because they go to couples therapy. I'm curious, and we never get to see it, but I'm curious if the therapist has ever said, Amanda, you can't keep bringing it up.
Oh, I'm sure. To be a fly on the wall in their couples therapy sessions. What is it?
I would
HIPAA?
pay for that experience.
Damn HIPAA.
That I
Damn
would
HIPAA.
watch in an AMC theater.
Oh, literally, like like those episodes could be what have you seen the show Couples Therapy? Like on
No.
oh, it's so
Is that,
good.
oh my God, the concept of that. That's what it is. Oh, I would love something like that. I'm going to
It's
watch that.
so good. Ooh, it's good, but like a whole season dedicated to Kyle and Amanda sessions, give them an Emmy. Like that's what they should have done. Like recorded those damn sessions because wow.
So you're
But
not over it then. Like you want to keep watching this until the bitter end.
yeah.
Yeah, same. It did feel weird this week not having like something. It's interesting that West came out this week of all weeks, like with this information. So
He's strategic. He's strategic. I mean, listen, I think like the world of Bravo, while things go like change and like we'll have this brief moment, like soon they're gonna start filming the next season of Summer House. So we're gonna start like probably what usually start
10
filming
days
like
from now, maybe.
July 4th weekend. So
Yeah.
we're gonna start seeing stuff about that, which is gonna then just also spark other conversations. And then we still have the rest of this season of In the City, plus the reunion. Maybe I wonder how many episodes we'll get out of that. Maybe probably two. Um, and then, we'll have more drama and then they'll start picking up, filming for season two of In the City because they film in the fall.
Yeah.
So listen, we're not these people, unfortunately, but fortunately have dedicated their lives to putting their lives on camera and giving us things to talk about.
And I've dedicated my life to watching it.
Same.
Rupert, thank you so much for being here today. This was so much fun talking to
No,
you.
thank you
Why
for
don't you
having
tell
me.
everyone where they can follow you and check out all your great content?
All right, well, you can follow me as I walk through the streets. No, please don't do that. But no, if you see
Right?
me on the streets, please say hi. You can follow me on Instagram and Threads at Rupert the Baxter. And also I'm on TikTok as Rupert underscore Baxter. Yeah, just if you like seeing a man in a wig occasionally act a fool thing,
I
that's
definitely do.
me.
Well, thank you, Rupert.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to the Bravo Investigator podcast. You can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at the Bravo Investigator. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and join the Facebook page. If you enjoyed the show, please leave a 5-star review.